Should be set up right this time, because last time we kind of accidentally messed up and set it up for vertical instead of horizontal, but I gotta tell you, man, that image doesn't look that clear. It's like it's recording in like 720p or something. Maybe it's just because it's streaming, I don't know, but it's not a very good image. Okay, let's see what we got. No, it looks clear on yours. Okay. All right, so last week we did 125. So we'll shoot up for, I guess 135. We'll go up by 10. Since this is our light night. Make sure the audio is coming in. Okay. All right. Okay. Here we go on a live stream. We're 2 minutes in, nobody's watching. That's okay. Hopefully we get some people that join us. Let's see if we can't get it a little bit more than what I got last week. Man, why does that feel so low? Feels like the bar's like right on top of me. Okay, all right, welcome to the live stream. We're just getting started. We are doing bench press tonight, or at least we're doing our light bench press tonight. Every week we alternate from heavy, light, heavy, light. This is our light night, so tonight we're gonna be working up to a top set of 135, and the goal is to do as many reps as possible, and then we're gonna move on to our accessory work after that. So it's a pretty mild night as far as it goes for benching. Taking our time warming up too. There's not a rush for it because I have some issues with my shoulders and my pec, so I'm gonna take my time warming up. I'm not in a big rush. We're gonna be moving quickly between sets because that's not a lot of weight we're handling, but I'm gonna be making very small jumps as we move through the workout just because I wanna make sure my joints and my pec and everything else is warmed up. And also I'm using a close grip bench for this to have a longer stride to make it harder. So back before I got hurt, I would actually do a regular grip bench for my bench pressing, and then I would switch to a close grip bench for my light work. So that way, you know, when you go wider, it's a shorter stroke, and you go closer, it's longer, so it makes it harder. So you could get away with using lighter weight for more reps, but it feels just as hard. But I can't go wide no more because my pec, so my close grip bench is literally just 2 fingers inside the knurling. And my regular bench now is what my close grip bench press used to be. So I had to bring it in quite a bit. So that way it doesn't aggravate my pec and my tendon. And that's the thing too. When it comes to strength, if you're looking to build strength, whether you're looking for hypertrophy or strength, whatever your game is, if you're looking for strength, if you could find a way to do more like the same intensity with less weight, that's the better option. Like if you could obviously bench press a lot of weight, but then you can go to a close grip bench press and you have to press at less weight, it's less damaging on your joints and your overall body. So you can actually get the same work with less weight, which is less stress on your body and less fatigue. And if you could go to an incline bench press and it's harder, or an incline close grip bench press and it's harder, well, that's going to carry over to your actual bench press. So you can use other variations of benching to make bench press stronger to handle lighter weights, but still be able to increase your strength. And it's like, well, if you're trying to bodybuild and do hypertrophy work, it's like, well, I'm not really worried about strength. But I mean, ultimately, I think everyone should somewhat be worried about strength, and I'll explain it here in a second. So what I mean by I think everyone should be kind of worried about strength is if you're just continuously using the same weight, the exact same weight every single week with the same reps, it's going to be a lot harder for you to get more load. And the more weight you can use, or the more reps you can get with a heavier weight, the bigger you're going to get for hypertrophy. So in the beginning, if you're just starting off fresh working out, or if you hit a plateau and you can't figure out why am I not getting bigger, how come I'm not making progress in the gym, it's probably because your intensity is not there. And I don't mean intensity doing like a set of 1 to 3 or 1 to 5. It could be a set of 12 or 15 or even 20 reps. And if you're not pushing yourself to get more reps or more weight, that's probably a good indication of why your progress stalled. And then another way to look at it too is if your progress has stalled out and what you're doing, you can't get any more reps and you can't get any more weight on that movement, you can either change it out for something else for a lighter percentage and build up, or what you can do is you can simply add like a different technique to the training. So like a superset, a drop set, a rest pause, a board press, a variation of the movement or an addition to the movement to help get a couple extra reps after you hit failure or you hit your rep range and you can't go past it. Find a way to go past it, and then that's going to carry over to more progress. Because you can't continuously get stronger week after week, but you can do things to get more reps, and you can do things that's going to help aid you in getting stronger, which will help you handle more weight for more reps, and that will carry over to more progress. So that's a big reason why I've gotten back into strength training, because I also noticed that I myself kind of stalled out with my training, and I wasn't really like progressing like I should because I got so caught up in like the stretch, the squeeze, the elongated stretch, the hold, the pull, the squeeze, the contraction, that I was moving so slow and getting such a deep stretch, I wasn't getting stronger and I wasn't able to handle more weight. And every time I tried to do more reps, because I was moving so slow, I would just get fatigued from just the movement itself, from taking so much time with a lighter weight, that I wasn't able to progress forward and get stronger. Because I wasn't getting stronger, I wasn't doing more reps. And because I wasn't doing more reps, I wasn't getting any progress. So I stalled out real big. But since I started doing this again, I've noticed that my results have started coming back. I've started getting a lot better progress since I started focusing more on my strength and focusing on that slow stretch with a pause and then a pull and a contraction. And don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on that. That's a great way to work out. I like working out like that. When I need a break from heavy lifting or heavy loads and I feel my body's kind of breaking down and I need to take some time to let my body recover, or just aches and pains need to go away, I train like that to kind of help my body heal. So I'm still working out, but I'm not damaging, or I'm not like putting myself under excessive load. But once I heal up from that, go back to pushing heavier loads, that's when the progress and the results come from. And I kind of lost track of that for a while. And I was more concerned about the weight on the bar doesn't matter. It's not how much you move, it's how well you move it, which is true. But again, the more you can move, the better your results will be. need to put a water fountain in here. Bring my water bottles. But it'd be cool to have like a little, because my plumbing runs through my garage. So I got a pipe over here. I could easily put a water fountain in. I got an electrical outlet right there too. I could plug it in. That way I could get some ice cold refrigerated water, and I don't have to go inside when I run out of my bottle. Again, taking our time, warming up, making very small jumps because it's been a long time since I benched and I'm not in a hurry to get hurt. I do want to get stronger, but I want to do it in a way that's going to keep me from getting injured. Because not being able to bench for so long and being able to get back to it, man, it's a lot of fun, but I don't want to rush into injury and end up getting hurt. It's not where you start either, it's where you finish, you know. Humble beginnings, I say it all the time, humble beginnings. It's hard for me to look back at where I was to look at where I am now and to remember, like, you know, this isn't like it's just because I got lazy and stopped working out, and that's why I'm not able to lift what I was able to lift. There's a reason for me starting off where I'm at. There's no reason to be embarrassed of what you can do, because being able to do something is better than being able to do nothing, that's for sure. All right, thank you guys for joining us. For those of you just joining us in, this is my light night for benching. We're working up to a top set of 135. I know it's not a lot of weight, but you got to remember, I am coming back from an injury. So we're taking our time working up. Like I said, it's going to be our light bench tonight, so no crazy heavy loads. Not that I can lift heavy loads right now anyways, but you guys got any questions, please leave a comment. And also, too, the whole, hey, it's going on, CB. Thanks for being able to join us again. So, and here's the thing, too, about it. Whenever you're working out, like, there's always, like, how many sets, how many reps. You know, like, should I do 4 sets of this and 3 sets of this? Or should I do, like, 3 exercises with 4 sets? Should I do a total of 10 sets or 9 sets or 12 sets or 14 sets or 16 sets? Like, how many sets are optimal? Like, how many sets should I do? And how much is too much, or how much is overtraining, and how much is too many reps? But to be honest, when I'm powerlifting, like, that's a non-issue. Like, I'm gonna do however many sets it takes to warm up on bench. Like, it doesn't. This is the top set, right? Okay, let's go on just for looks. Let's just put a 45 on there just for looks. Okay, so like I said, when it comes to powerlifting, I've never cared about how many sets it took me to get to my top set. Whether it was 3 sets, 10 sets, 20 sets. I'm gonna do however much it takes to be warmed up for this movement. Then once I'm done with this, that's when all the hypertrophy work starts. That's when I start doing all the bodybuilding, the fluff and puff movements, and that's where all that comes in. So as far as it goes for, like, well, what's overtraining? I mean, really, if you're eating enough, you're getting enough recovery and rest, and as long as you're progressing in the gym every single week and you're getting more reps or more weight, you're not overtraining. If you hit a wall and you stop progressing forward and you stop seeing results, that's when the time comes to be like, okay, like, Am I not eating enough? Am I not sleeping enough? Am I not getting enough hydration? Or have I taken this movement as far as I could take it? Do I need to change this out for something else? Do I need to do a technique to be able to push this further? Or do I just need to back off the throttle? And a good indication if your grip strength goes and it seems like it's hard to hold on to anything, if you're constantly in a state of fog, like you're always tired, no matter how much sleep you get, you can't shake it, those are indications that you need to kind of throttle down for a week and maybe deload. And deload can mean so many things to so many people, from like taking a week off, reducing volume, reducing sets, cutting your load in half by everything you do. So it just depends on what your idea of what a deload is. Like for me, I would take a whole week off and not touch anything, maybe do some cardio and some stretching and just rest and recover and then come back. But that's also because I build 12-week blocks. So I do like 12-week training blocks and then I take a week off and then I reset my percentages and build back up. So that's what I consider like a deload and everything and how I approach it. So this is my top set right here. I'm gonna do this for as many reps as possible. Another comment? No, not yet. Okay, so I thought I saw something on the phone light up. But anyway, so this is the top set. I'm gonna do this for as many reps as possible. So I rest a little bit longer on this one right here. Last week I did 125 for 15. So hopefully I can match that, if not do more. And it's always, the goal to do more. You don't ever want to do less, that's for sure. Unless you're peaking, then the goal is to reduce volume while increasing intensity. All right. Hopefully I get at least 15. I'm feeling kind of good tonight, so let's see what happens. Whew, 18? All right, so went up by 10 pounds and got 3 more reps than last week. Like I said, I was feeling good tonight. Kind of feel like I had a little extra in me. I don't know why I was so tired last week, but I know I wasn't happy with my performance, but I think this makes up for last week. Would have been cool to get those 2 last reps and hit 20 even, but I'll take it. I'm very happy with my performance right there. That is a huge step in the right direction, being able to hit 135 for 18, because I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong real quick before you start this, but if you could do the bar for 10, you could do 400 for 1, right? 450. Yeah, 450 for 1. I think that's a percentage carryover, right? Yeah. All right, come on, man. Last week you got almost 30. So you should be able to crush this. Easy, easy like butter. Easy like butter. Now, if we were doing regular bench, we would have done a set of 5. Well, next week, when we come in here and do this, we're gonna do a set of 5. And then after that, we're gonna do board press. We'll do 3 sets of 3 on board press with a heavier load, but I actually just put out a video today from last week's workout where it was our heavy week last week and we kind of did that, but what is that? Come on. Get that cardio in. Come on. There you go. Don't even act like it's hard. No, you got another one. Come on. You kind of caught it at the top. You got another one. Drive. Come on. One more. You got another one. You got another one. Come on. Come on. Deep breath. Deep breath. Hold it tight. Press. Drive. 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 Come on. Come on. There it is. Beautiful. 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 How many did you get total? 26. Yeah, you got, what, 27 last week, right? 28. 10 pounds more, two reps less. That's still good, man. Get that cardio in. Oh, yeah, so what I was trying to say just a second ago, last week was my heavy night, which I actually released that video today just at 3:30. And this is actually week 8. Last week was week 7 or whatever, but I'm going to start trying to do live videos instead, so that way it's actually like not a week before or anything, or no like smoke and mirrors. Not that I did that anyways, but that way it's like legitimately like, here I am, this is what I'm doing, this is where my numbers, my lifts, no fabricating, nothing and stuff like that, just is what it is. But so like I said, next week when we come in is when we'll go heavy, and then we'll do board press after this. So benching's real quick tonight. So that's it for that. But now let's go ahead and take it over to the accessory work, to the bodybuilding stuff. So now I'm going to move over here. Let me put the camera this way. Okay, so now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do my assistance work for bench. So I'm going to do dumbbell press now, and I'm working up. Hold on, give me 1 second. Let me tell you what I'm working up to here. Last week I did 60 for 13 reps. So I'm doing 5 sets of 20, working up to the 60s. So I'm going to start with, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to start with the 40s, and then I'm going to hit the 45s, and then the 50s, and the 55s, and the 60s. I should be able to get 20 on every single set. And then when I get to the 60s, last week I was only able to get 13 reps. So tonight the goal is to get at least 14 reps on that first push of the top set. Technically it's to get 20. So if I get 20 with the 60s, then I'm going to go up next week. If I don't get 20 with the 60s, what I'm going to do there is I'm going to do a rest pause, and I'm going to continue up to the 20s. I'm only going to count whatever the first number was when I first went at those 60s. And the next week I come in, I'm going to try to get 220. Then once I hit 20, I could go up and wait. And I rest 2 minutes between sets, but I need to get something to time my sets, because I totally forgot to charge my other phone. So I need to get a stopwatch or something. So like I said, 2 minutes between sets on these. And the form is not super crazy perfect. I'm just trying to get the reps in. Now, I'm not pausing on these and doing nothing crazy slow, because like I said earlier, like I got caught up in doing those slow negatives and controlled reps and those slow moving stretches that I stopped focusing on. Let me know when it hits, you timing yours? Okay, let me know when it hits 150. So anyway, so like I said, I was so focused on doing these long stretches, and then it flex, that slow pause, hold, and go, reduced my endurance because my fatigue built up from just holding the weights and doing those slow negatives, that I wasn't able to push for more reps, which reduced my ability to be able to go up in weight, which reduced my progress because I was so focused on not getting hurt, not getting injured, and doing it the more scientific way, And it worked for a couple of months, but like anything, you can't continuously do the same thing every single week after week after week after month after month. Eventually, you're going to hit a wall and it's going to stall, and your progress is going to come to an end. And the only way to continue to progress and continue to push forward is by changing out workouts, exercises, rest times, styles of sets, all kinds of variations you can change out that's going to make you progress further versus just sticking to the same thing over and over again. Because if you hit a wall, more than likely, you could have routine fatigue and you're just bored of your routine and you're not even putting effort into it. How much time?
20 seconds.
Okay. So we got 5 sets of these. We got 4 more of 20. I'm going to push to see how far we can get. Like I said, roughly 2 minutes between sets, roughly 2 minutes. You can be a little over, a little under, but ideal, you want to try to get around 2 minutes between your sets. I gotta go get me something to time my sets. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get something. All right, had to go snag one of the kids' iPads because the phones were taken up. So there's my clock on the wall right there. Boop. Done 2, right? How much time do we got?
39 seconds.
39 seconds? Okay, well, I'm gonna go here in just a second then because I started mine before yours. All right, got the clock on the wall. That actually works, man. That's actually a lot easier to see than the phone, too. I'm just gonna start doing that because between the kids, I got 3 iPads. So, and like I said, you guys see my reps. I'm not taking a whole lot of time, like doing these. Like it's quick reps. I'm just pumping them out, pumping them out. I already did my bench press. I did slow, controlled stops, pauses, and all that stuff. So now I'm just trying to get the fluff and puff. I'm trying to get as much blood as I can into the muscle. Yeah.
On the squats, what am I doing? Like, how many sets or what am I doing for the squat?
You're
I'm
doing
doing 4 sets, but like, how am I doing?
8 to 12.
Okay.
Yeah, 8 to 12. Okay. Yeah, we got 2 more sets of this. Like I said, I like to rest about 2 minutes between sets. If I'm feeling like the movement is easier, I won't rest as long. I'll cut the rest time back and I'll move on quickly, like 45 seconds to a minute, minute and a half. But if the workout's harder, the loads are heavier, I push it to the 2 minute mark. Sometimes I might go 2.5 minutes. Really just depends on what I'm lifting and how I'm lifting. But majority of the time, like I said, I try to keep it around that 2 minute mark to keep it consistent, because if you can consistently hit the same amount of rest and then you can push more reps, then you know that for sure you're getting stronger. And then your fatigue is getting better and your endurance and your conditioning is getting better too. 1 more minute to go. Let me get my water. So last time I did the live stream, I did it vertically, which I guess goes into the short feed, so I guess people scrolling through see it more. What? No, that's weird. Someone must have been on it. Yeah, that's because someone got off of it without stopping it, and it goes to, if you step off of it, it goes to pause. Anyways, like I said, I'm wondering if doing it vertically in the short feed, if more people will stumble upon it versus doing it horizontally, you know, but oh well. Okay. So that's the 55s for 20, and I actually got that a lot easier this week than I did the first time I hit them. And obviously I'm getting stronger. My endurance is getting better. And here's the thing, you argue the fact that it's like, well, if you slow down and take a long stretch and a pause at the bottom and then press, there's more muscle activation, more time under tension, yada, 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 yada. But moving at the pace that I'm moving at, if you first start doing 20 reps per set moving at this pace, you're not going to get a whole lot of weight. You're going to have to build into it because your arms are going to burn, your chest is going to burn, your shoulders are going to burn, everything's going to burn. You're going to have to build into the weight that you're doing. And I promise you, me going up to these 60s on my next set, I'm stronger now moving like this. My chest is bigger than it was 6 weeks ago. I'm not only stronger, but I'm bigger, and I promise you, I can do more weight, slower, more controlled now with a pause and a contraction than I could 6 weeks ago. I could handle more weight with a slower movement. But if you do less weight with a slower movement, I feel like you can kind of detrain yourself and you can lose a lot of your strength and your results by doing that. So I think it has its place, and I think it has its part as far as it goes for hypertrophy and training blocks and making progress. But I honestly think that like there's a point where you start getting diminishing returns, and you can actually start getting like negative results because you keep going too light or you don't push yourself hard enough. And I know I kind of keep repeating that, but it's just how I honestly feel from years of doing this and experiencing and seeing it firsthand and how it happens and how it works with like deprogression, however you want to say it, detraining yourself over the course of using lighter weights with slower movements. Because I tell you what, I never seen Ronnie Coleman move weights super slow. And he had the best Mr. Olympia body in history. So it's like, argue the facts, right? Not dogging the science though, not dogging the evidence that it does work, but I think it has its time and its place. So I got to get at least 14 to 9 on this. is my top set right here. Yep, I just got 20. So you can say what you want, but not last week, the week before last, I did the 60s for 9. And then last week I got 13. This week I just did 20. So 2 weeks ago, I couldn't even do these for 10. 2 weeks later, I just did them for 20. I'm getting stronger. My endurance is getting better. My cardiovascular is getting better. Everything is getting better. So like I said, I believe that there is a time and place for that slow stretch stuff, but it's not always. Like, you can't continuously do that. I just don't think that it's gonna always like work. Just like doing what I'm doing right now is not always gonna work. Eventually this is gonna have to be changed up because eventually it's gonna stall out too. Okay. Now let me go mark this number down, and next I have incline.
You put this over there?
Okay, 45 for 14. So I gotta do 45 for 15 tonight on incline dumbbell press. 45 for 15. And you can argue like, oh, well, if you went slower, you wouldn't be able to get 20. Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. If I went slow, I wouldn't have been able to get 20 reps. That means I would have got less volume. That means I would have got less total working load too if I would have went slower. So I got more working load and more volume than I would have if I went slower. And you could argue with the time under tension. Okay, well, it still equals out to about the same. So if you do time under tension and you do 8 reps like this speed, but you do 20 reps like this, your time under tension is pretty close to the same. Pretty close to the same. The only difference is one, you get more reps and more workload and more volume. The other one, you get less reps, less workload, and less volume. But the time under tension, honestly, is roughly around the same. Maybe off a couple seconds here and there. So I gotta get 45s for at least 15 tonight. So I'm starting with what? 1, 2, 3, 4, the 30s on the incline. Let me move this angle on the bench too. I'll put this over here. That's a pretty good angle. Hey, welcome to the live stream. Thanks for joining us. If you got any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them. I like to answer them. I'm already about halfway through my chest workout. We just did bench with close grip and then dumbbell press, and now I'm moving to incline dumbbell press now. So. Man, you can really feel those pec minors working on that. 2 minutes, rest 2 minutes. So I like to rest 2 minutes between sets. I've said many times. Just keeps I think 2 minutes is a good rule of thumb. Like, if you're trying to build strength up, you need a little bit more rest. It varies, depends on how my training is and what I'm doing. But I think you're trying to push for heavier weight and more load every week. I think you need a little bit more rest. But if you're generally sticking around the same weight and same volume, 45 seconds to a minute, I think it's a very, very adequate amount of rest. About keeping the pump, right? Trying to get as much blood as you possibly can into the area. So with that, my dumbbell press, I just did 60 for 20, and that's the goal, 20, right, on my top set. And on incline dumbbell press last week, I got the 45s for 14, so I'm gonna go for at least 15, I want 20. If I don't hit 20, then I'm gonna hit a rest pause and work my way up to 20, but I'm only gonna count what my first set was on my top set, what the first go was, and whatever that is, that's the number I'm gonna try to beat next week so I can continuously progress and get better and better as the time goes. Huh? Yeah, I'm working up with the 45s on it. Yeah. Oh, crap, yeah. I was supposed to start with the 25s, yeah. Well, oh well. All right, getting close to that 2 minute mark. So I was supposed to start with the 25s. I miscounted, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the 30s again for another set, because I do 5 sets of 20. So I'm gonna go ahead and do these again since I kind of miscalculated my starting weight. Yeah, feeling good tonight. So I'm gonna show my chest routine. After chest, I have triceps and shoulders. Next week, well, no, next week's heavy bench. So maybe I will show it, because I have shoulders after triceps, and that's a whole lot of work, man. That's like a whole nother like hour worth of working out, and so maybe I'll put that in a different live stream. Nothing special about this kind of training. There's no secrets, there's no tricks, there's no rabbit in a hat, there's no magic formula. It just takes hard work and consistency to be able to push hard enough to be able to get better. There's just, you have to have like a desire to be able to kind of go through like a certain amount of like aches and pains and suffering. Like there has to be a will and a desire to be like, you know what, I can hurt for 2-3 days and be sore and have little aches and pains and discomfort. I'm willing to go through that because the outcome is going to be worth the amount of effort that I put into the gym. Whew. Do what? Yeah. Well, this is why we only do one movement for triceps. You get a lot of work, like indirect work on the triceps, but I still want to hit them direct, because not hitting them at all, it's kind of like you're leaving some on the table. All right. Yeah, see, I'm feeling that exactly where I want to feel it, right in the top of the pecs. That is hitting me like right in here, like perfectly right in here. That's what I want, trying to build that upper chest out.
Do you count the bar or just the actual plates?
The bar counted as a 45. Because the sled actually weighs 55. I weighed it out. I took a fish scale and it's 55, but just for the sake of math, just count it as 45. It's just easier. Two more sets of this. I'm getting veiny though. Getting a lot of vascularity. Starting to show up. Even my arms, man. Last time I measured them out, they were 17 and a half, which is a huge difference from being 15 and a quarter whenever I was on that cut and all deflated and depleted. Appreciate it, CV. Thank you for watching, man. Yes, it's nothing crazy or nothing fancy, man, but it's just being consistent and really just having the will to be in here even when you don't want to be in here. Like, people talk about beast mode and talking about being all hardcore when they're hyped up on caffeine and, you know, they have a lot of energy or they just started or whatever. And that's easy to scream and hoot and holler and act like, you know, you're doing something incredible whenever you have that little momentarily burst of energy. But like hardcore beast mode, like being this is it right here. Like, there's no major hooting or hollering or screaming. It's just showing up day after day, even when you don't feel like showing up and performing. Yeah, being all jacked up on Mountain Dew. All right, one more set. One more. Whew. One more. I got to get at least 15. So, and this is where a lot of pressure, you put a lot of pressure on yourself with this type of training too, because like, there's a lot of different ways to do progressive overload. Some people add more sets, some people add more reps, some people add more weight. So there's a couple different ways to add progressive overload, but this particular way, every single week you come in, you're trying to beat your previous reps or your previous weight, is incredibly difficult to produce constant results. Just because like it gets to a point where you're fighting for that one rep, then you have to put a lot of pressure on yourself. Like right now, like I did the 45s for 12, then you can move the camera real quick if you need, man, just go to move it. So doing like a set for 12, and then 13, and then 14, 3 weeks in a row going up by one rep. And now tonight I have to get 15, and it's just like, okay, I barely got that extra rep these last 3 weeks. So now I have to put that pressure, like I need to at least get one more rep. So it kind of makes you really like, not doubt yourself, but really focus on what you're trying to accomplish here. Like, you know, am I trying to get better? Am I doing enough to get better? If I'm really putting in the effort to get better, am I really giving it everything I could have? Did I eat enough food? Did I drink enough water? Did I get enough sleep? Did I do enough assistance work to be able to push this movement further? So it all builds up. It all builds up. And then this is my favorite kind of progressive overload. But again, eventually you're going to hit a wall. You can only climb so high before you hit a peak. And then that peak, there's another side of that mountain, and it's a downhill. So you go in waves. Every time you do, you go in waves. So I'm actually going to rest a few seconds longer than 2 minutes on this one, just because I have really pushed right there at the limits of this movement. So let me go to about maybe 10 more seconds. I'm gonna hit this. So I'm at 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So let me go at 2:30. Try to get these 15s. Oh man, 15 and a half. Oh, just inching my way up. So now I'm gonna do a rest pause on this. Okay, so I'm gonna mark down 15, and that's the rep to beat next week. So I only needed one rest pause to hit my 20. So I hit 15 and a half, rested 5 breaths, went again, and I was just enough to be able to hit that last 5 reps. But hopefully next week I come in and I can hit the total 20. If not, the goal is definitely to hit 16. So like I'm literally inching my way up, and I'm right there on the verge of like what my rep max is for this weight. Yeah, because I started off with, I did 40 for the first week. It was 40 for 15, then 40 for 20, then 45 for 10, and then 13, then 14, and now 15. So I'm slowly inching my way back up.
Which one? That's the one where I got to sit back, right?
Oh, you need the bar for deadlifts, yeah.
It's the one on that.
Yeah.
Backwards that I have all the time.
Yep. Well, you're just gonna have to get better at it. You don't like it because you're not good at it, but the more you do it, the better you'll get at it.
No, it's not bad. It's just I don't.
Just don't overthink it. Just push the hips back. Just don't overthink it. Just push the hips back.
You know who I am?
Just push the hips back. If you feel into the hamstrings, you're doing it right. Oh, you know what? Sorry, I didn't even look to see what I need to do for my next movement. Okay, 55 for 11. Okay. So. All right, so that was incline dumbbell press. Now this is my last chest movement of the night. I'm gonna do low cable crossovers, and I'm working up to 55. I did 55 for 11 last week, so I gotta get at least 55 for 12. Now, you guys are gonna see some really ugly form on this. You're not gonna see perfect form. As the weight's super light, you're gonna see much better form. But as the weight goes heavier, I'm gonna go more from like a fly to more of like a press, or like a fly press almost. Because this pec is held together by scar tissue. I had surgery to reconnect it. So when I go too heavy and I come out here, the pull on that pec, it's not something I'm really comfortable with, and I don't like the feel. So I'm gonna go with a fly with the lighter loads, and as it gets heavier, I turn more to a press, just so it doesn't put so much emphasis on that pec right there. And that way I can still kind of push for heavier weights. And I'm only gonna push this so far until I have to reduce the load and then start back over. Let me get my clock on the wall here. All right. Now, everything I do for my assistance work for Fluff and Puff is sets of 20. And the reason why is because of it's easier to get more weight with lighter reps. I'm sorry, it's easier to get more reps with lighter weight than it is to get more weight with less reps, if that makes sense. So like trying to build on a 3 to 5 rep max is extremely difficult to do. But building up on a 20 rep max is a lot easier to do. So if you're hitting like 14, it's a lot easier to be able to get 15 in a week or two. But if you're doing like a 3 to 5 rep max and you're trying to go from 3 to 4, it's a lot more difficult to go from a 3 rep max to a 4 rep max to a 5 rep max versus a 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 rep max and then go up on weight. And then all that does carry over. It does have a huge carryover whenever you're doing lighter weight like that. It may not seem like it does, but as your rep weight max goes up, so does max and everything else. It all stacks up. Every bit of it stacks up. So this is one of those movements I don't rest as long because it's not nearly as taxing as the other ones. So I move a little bit faster on this. So like a minute, minute and a half is an ideal rest until I get to that top set, and that top set will be a little bit longer of a rest period. Easy, easy. So, and my pin stack, it's by 10 pounds. I'm moving up to 55 tonight. And the way I go to 55 is I simply I put a 5 on the pin. Makes it a little easier to go in like smaller increments for adding weight. I'll tell you what, man, the pump you get from these are better than, at least for me, like my lower pec. I don't have anything to really hit the lower pec. I don't have any decline benches, so I can't do decline press or decline bench or dumbbells or anything like that. So this is like the only thing I have. I don't have a dip machine or anything else. So I've flirted with the idea of getting like a dip machine or something to do dips on. I've also flirted with the idea of getting like a ISO decline press to be able to hit that lower pec a little bit different, but I just, I haven't got around to making the room in the gym and or pulling the trigger to spend the money on it. Oh, I forgot to reset my clock. That's all right. Because you're just moving in between these anyways. But I like to get something for lower chest. And they actually say decline bench press actually hits the upper, like Dorian Yates said it. He said like if you actually do decline press, it actually engages the upper pectorals more than the lower. A lot of people think that like doing incline press, you're gonna hit more upper chest. And Dorian Yates was a huge advocate saying, no, if you wanna hit the top of the chest, you need to do decline press because that's gonna activate more upper than lower. And a lot of people had confusion. I remember a long time ago reading a Muscle and Fitness magazine where they were actually talking about that, where they were saying that there was a study done where they put like the muscle activation sensors and everything like that on the pectorals, and they noticed that when moving to the incline press, it activated more deltoids and triceps. Then whenever they moved to the decline press, it actually activated 17% more upper pectoral, which is the pec minor, because the pec minor runs across the collarbone, and the pec major runs across down to the sternum. And it actually showed that the decline press activated 17% more pec minor activity than the incline and the flat bench. And I'm gonna step in front of him and show you this. The pec minor runs from here to here. The pec major runs from here to here. So your pec major comes down like this, your pec minor comes across like this. So when guys flex and you see that line cut across their chest like this, that's the separation from the pec major and the pec minor. That's what you're seeing right there. So hitting the decline press actually works that harder. So the studies and the science goes. Okay, here's where my ugly form comes in with a 50. It's funny though, because if you do low cable crossovers like I just did, people lose their minds. But let me ask you, if you're doing dips and you're doing dips like this, okay, versus doing decline or cable crossovers like this, I mean, really, you lean forward and you do, what's the major difference, and what's the big like argument about? Like, who cares? If you feel it that way in your chest better, do it that way. If you feel it more like, if you feel your lower and middle pec doing like a decline press with the cables better than you do doing dumbbells or bench or dips or like the cable fly or the dumbbell fly, then do those. I mean, ultimately it comes down to like feeling your muscle work and engage. And if you can feel it more by doing more of a press, do the press. If you stop feeling it with the press, then change it up to something else. Or if you stall out on it and change it out to something else. There is no one form fits all. Like compared to other people's, the leverages from your wrist to your elbow varies from other people. Your clavicles, like your leverages are a lot different than a lot of other people leverages. So we're all generally built the same, and we're all typically the same, right? But there are things about us that make us different, and leverages are a huge difference. Like taking like a 1 foot lever versus a 4 foot lever, it changes the load dramatically. So depending on the length of your arms and your elbows and the position of your scapulas and everything else is depending on how you're gonna feel it and engage the muscle. So if your form looks a little bit different than somebody else's, that's okay. As long as you're feeling it how you're supposed to be feeling it. If you do side laterals out here and you don't get any joint discomfort, do side laterals here. If you do them here and you get a bad click or your shoulder hurts you you have impingement, but you don't have any issues here, do them out here. It's not that big of a deal. Like, you can change the position of your arm and movement if it causes you to have a better workout with less pain. So don't feel like you have to be locked in because this is the form and everything like that. I mean, there's a general idea of what good form is, but I mean, being able to kind of like self-regulate like what your body needs and the angle position is way more important to me than what a picture or a video of like this is textbook form right here. Because if you do textbook form squats, but you just feel it in your knees and only in your knees, yeah, you should probably stop doing that. I'll call that 14. Not the prettiest form, but I'll take it. Let me go write this down real quick. Got a good pump in my chest right now. So I got 3 more reps
They're still not saying anything.
than last week, which is great. That is what 165 pounds worth of work volume more. 3 more reps volume, and then 165 pounds more workload for the day from last week. And the V-bars, I'm going up to 120 tonight. It's my next movement. Just chipping away at this. Okay, that's it for chest. Completely done with chest. So now I'm going to move on to triceps, and my triceps are pretty simple. What I do, I'm going to do V-bar press down for 5 sets of 20 with the same exact weight for each set. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to warm up and do a couple little reps. About 5, Oh, you can go by. So I'm going to do like 5 to 8 reps real quick with a couple different weight, working up to 120. And then once I hit that, my elbows are warmed up, I'm going to do 5 sets of 20 with 120. Now the goal is 5 sets of 20. Probably not going to get 5 sets of 20. I might get 1, maybe 2 sets of 20, and the rest of the reps are going to come down with each set. But I'm going to continue to push this weight for 5 sets until I get every set with 20, and then I'll move up on weight and stuff like that. And if you never tried this before, you get a really, really good pump, and actually you progress pretty good. At least I do. I always see a lot of progress whenever I do this. So that was 50, this is 70. I'm gonna jump to 90. I'll jump to 110 and do this for about 4. Okay, now I'm gonna rest 2 minutes, and then I'm gonna actually start my sets. Okay. Or calves. You still have to do calves. Oh, okay.
She's on the curl, so I just limited my calves.
Okay.
But that might more my back anyways, so
Yeah.
it might not be a terrible thing.
Yeah, that's fine. It's not that crucial. Yeah. Pumping up, guys. Getting good pumps. I love getting pumps, man. It's always nice getting really good pumps, especially when your vascularity starts to come out a lot. I like being veiny. Some guys don't, but I like it. My wife likes it too. She loves when I get veiny. When I start gaining weight and getting fluffy, and I start like getting like soft looking and flat, and she's like, "Oh, your veins are going away." I feel the same way too. I like seeing the veins. Like it really motivates me. Got one more minute, and I'm gonna hit this. Richard's out there playing games, so I'm not gonna wait for him. He got a few more seconds. He got about 30 seconds to get over here. All right. Oh, man. All right. I should be able to get at least 1 or 2 sets, hopefully with 20, because last week I did the 110 for 20, so this shouldn't be an issue. All right, there goes one. There goes one. Man, this little screen is so dirty, it's hard to see the numbers because the kids are dirty little creatures. Yeah, it burns pretty good, man. When you get around like 16 reps, back of that arm just starts screaming. And it's that point you have to shut off your instincts, right? Your natural instincts is to preserve yourself and stop when you feel pain. So like when you start feeling pain, you start feeling discomfort, you start feeling like burning and stuff like that, you kind of got to really like pump the brakes and be like instinctual, you pump the brakes, should I say that? Instinctually, you pump the brakes and you're like, okay, it's hurting, it's burning, it's discomfort. I don't want this. So your brain starts to try to shut you down. Same thing for your body, vice versa, but you just kind of have to shut that part off and just push through it. A lot of people hold themselves back and they leave a lot of results on the table because they don't push through that. You know, it's like, well, I don't want to hit failure, like 1 to 3 reps shy of failure, 3 reps in reserve, 4 reps in reserve. Like there's no significant difference of going to failure, not going to failure. Well, progressive overload could be blah, 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 blah. Like just work hard, man. More is more. Just show up and work hard. Just work harder than you did before. Like work as hard as you can. If you do more work today, you're going to be better tomorrow. Right? You're not going to get worse unless you get hurt, or again, like there's that threshold, there is that point of spillover where your fatigue gets too high, because eventually your volume and your intensity is going to meet your fatigue. And once your fatigue and your intensity meets, you're going to have a peak, and then you're going to have to climb down that peak and then go back up. Whew. That is a burn right there. And you know, you don't have to do 20 reps like I do. Anyone can do I mean, if you want to do 8 reps or 10 reps or 12 or 14, or hell, your rep could be 13 or 17. Like I'm going for 17 reps. That's my ideal target range of 17 reps. And go for that, you know. There is no right amount of reps or sets. It's just what you need to progress to get better. Do you need more? Do you need less? What do you need to get better? Figure that out and do that. If you can get away with doing less reps and less sets and get better, do less reps and less sets and get better. If you're not getting better, then do a little bit more than that. If that's not getting better, do a little bit more than that. Add some sets, add some reps, add some weight. Do a little bit more than you did last time to see if that's what you need. If you get to the point where you're doing a whole lot of reps, a whole lot of sets, and you're not getting better, you're not getting stronger, and you're not progressing, then back way, way, way off. And maybe you just need more rest. Maybe your body just requires a little bit more time between your training sessions. Maybe you need more frequency. Maybe you're training once a week, maybe go twice a week. If you're training twice a week, maybe go to once a week. If you've done both of those and saw no difference, well then maybe go to 3 days a week. Maybe even train 4 days a week. And I don't mean total workouts. I mean, you could train 2 times a week total. You could train 3 times a week. If you're training 3 times a week, try training 4. If you're training 4, try 5. 5, try 6. You're working out 6 days a week, go down to 3 days a week or 4 days a week. But if you're training your muscles, everything once a week, and that's not working, go to twice a week. Train everything twice a week is what I mean. And if you're doing everything twice a week and you're not seeing progress, train everything once a week. If you're not seeing progress either, go to 3 times a week training everything. Go to 4 times a week training everything. Play with it, figure it out. It's an anomaly, and you're trying to figure that anomaly out, and you're trying to crack that code to be able to figure out what your body requires to get the best amount of results for you. Oh man, 17. 17 reps, 2 for 20, 1 for 17. So 17 is the weight to beat next week. So I got 2 more sets, but I just hit my 3rd set for 17 reps. So that means what I'm gonna mark down on my board is 120 for 17, unless I get less. In my next set or 2, if I come in at like 14 reps, 15 reps, 13 reps, that's the only thing I'm marking down. I'm marking down my lowest rep set, and that's the way to beat. And you could come in and you could do a couple different things. You can either, let's say you do 13, you do 20, 20, 20, 15, 13. Well, next week you come in, you could go 14 across the board, or you could try to go 15, 15, 15, 15, 14, or you could try to go 20, 20, you know, as many as you could get, as many as you could get, as many as you could get, as long as you're going over at least by 1 rep. So there's a bunch of different ways to approach it. But if your lowest rep is 13, then it doesn't matter next week when you come in. If you do all 5 reps, all 5 sets with 14 reps, instead of doing 20, 20, 15, 14 or whatever, you can go 15 across the board, and then 16, and then 17, and then build it all together. Me personally, I like pushing every set as hard as I could get, as close as I can to 20, because you're gonna have a natural taper, and then you're gonna start to fatigue, so you're gonna go from high reps, and your reps are gonna naturally fall. The next week you come in, everything's gonna move up a little bit, and then 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 move up a little bit till you're even across the board, because your fatigue isn't gonna be as much, like your conditioning is gonna be better. So you're gonna be able to get more reps without fatiguing with the same weight. So instead of doing 20, 20, 15, 15, 14, you might be able to do 20, 20, 20, 15, 15, then 20, 20, 20, 20, you know, you kind of get the point of what I'm saying. Like, it'll build and build and build and build until you could go up in reps. Well, weight, that is. I'll count that as 14. I got 15, but that last one was real ugly. All right, I got one more to go. So that was, I'm gonna count that as 14 reps. So I got one more set to go. I'm more likely going to get less than 14. So, and also too, guys, if you time your sets, one, it'll keep you from being distracted and scrolling on your phone and taking too long between sets. Two, it'll keep you from getting caught up in a conversation with someone and then running over 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 8 minutes, and then losing your pump and then cooling down. And then three, it'll make you be very consistent on the amount of workload you're increasing. So instead of taking like a 30-second break, then a 40-second break, then a 2-minute break, then a 1-minute break, then a 3-minute break, then a 2-minute break, you're not consistent, right? If you're like, I'm gonna rest until I'm ready to go again, with this type of work, you're doing yourself a disservice. But if you keep the rest periods the same across the board with every set, when you come in next week, if you do more volume or more weight, you know for sure, like, yeah, I've gotten better. But when you're doing the main lifts, like bench press, squats, or deadlift, don't rush those. As many sets as it takes, as long as your rest period needs to be. Because that, you're going for optimal performance, 100% optimal performance. You want to perform the absolute best you could possibly perform. But with this type of stuff, it's fluff and puff. It's reps and volume and reps and reps and volume and reps and just getting the work in and making sure you're doing enough to see progress. And like I said, if you can get more progress with less work, do less work and get more out of it. Me, I need a lot of work. I need a lot of volume. I need a lot of sets and reps and weight. Like, I already know that. Like, the harder I work and the more I do, the more I get out of it. The less I do, the less I get, the less I progress. It's just the nature of the beast. It's just how it is. I've noticed a recurring theme over these last couple of weeks as I've been getting smaller and smaller and weaker as I've been trying to do perfect form. All right, top set. Here we go. All right, 11. Okay, so what I did there was my last set, I got 11 reps. So next week when I come in, the goal is to get at least 12 with the same weight. But I did a rest pause at the end of that because I still want to get my volume in. So I want to get my 20 reps. So I got my 20 reps with the 120. And since I got my 20 reps with the 120 with a rest pause, next time I come in, I'm going to try to get as close as I can to 20 on that first go. And then once I could get to 20 on that final set, without any rest pause, I'll go up and wait. But until I could get 20 all the way through without rest pause, I'll keep using the 120s until I finally hit 20 reps on my 5th set with the same weight. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here because after this I have shoulders, and shoulders are gonna be performed the exact same way I'm doing this. The only difference is I'm gonna be doing side laterals, 5 sets of 20, front laterals, 5 sets of 20, bent over laterals, 5 sets of 20, with the exact same manner, the exact same style that I'm doing right here. So I'm not gonna go to record that because I think the video is gonna be kind of getting a little bit too long, but I'm gonna try to do a live stream on Friday, which is my back work. That's when I do all my back, my upper back and all that stuff. So I'll try to get in here and I know I'm gonna get in here, but I'm gonna try to record that too as well. But that's gonna be it for the live stream, guys. Thanks for watching and we'll see you Friday. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off. Well, do you guys got anything actually that you guys like to ask? before I cut the camera off? I'll give you guys about 2 minutes. I'm gonna cut the camera off. Any questions? Come over here and get started on my shoulders. Yes, you will. You'll see me Friday, my man. We'll be in here. Alrighty, guys. You have a good day, and we'll see you.